Will. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Hey, glad to have you back on the stream. Yeah, what do you want? What do you want to talk about? Hit me up.
Well, I want to go ahead and say right off the bat that your voice is made up. It's
My voice is made up.
it's
What? What are you talking about?
the way you talk is totally generated to sound feminine. You do that all the time.
I do it all the time because it's my voice.
No, it's not your.
That's how my voice
I can
works.
do that too. Oh, hee 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 hee. It's the same thing. You can do it.
You're
Anybody
not
can do
you're
it.
not doing it, my
You
dude. No, no, no.
choose
You're not
to do that.
adjusting your resonance. That's the
You
difference.
you
But
choose to do that.
broadly speaking, actually, what's really interesting is if you're a trans person who voice trains, the same thing as if you're an actor who voice trains. Your default voice will actually become your trained voice if you speak in a trained voice for at least 30 days consecutively, a majority of the time.
Yeah.
Your default voice is just a habit. So this has actually become my natural default voice. I'm not even doing anything consciously to make my voice sound like this. This is simply just what my voice sounds like.
Do you think
Meanwhile, you're making an intentional effort to raise your voice, and you're not even doing it correctly.
is there supposed to be a correct way to do it? I didn't know. You know,
Yes, there's lots of technique that goes into it. You can check out trans voice lessons on YouTube. She does tutorials on this kind of
it,
stuff.
it's probably something called delusional school for liberals. Maybe I don't know.
Oh, interesting. So you're throwing around the word delusional. What does delusional mean?
Delusional. Well, you're living in it, aren't you? You're in a fantasy world where you think you're a
Can you define the term delusional?
where you come up with ideas in your head that you believe are true when they're actually 100% totally false.
There's one more important criteria for something to be a delusion. It's particularly what the medical community recognizes something as a delusion is a persistent false belief that cannot be changed in the face of empirical evidence. So if you were able to present me evidence which disproves something that I'm claiming, I would change my mind. So that's not delusional at all.
Okay, when you went to go to the bathroom a little bit ago,
Yeah.
did you sit down and use your other genitalia, or did you use your meat stick?
What else would I use? Someone else's?
So do you have a meat stick?
Does that matter?
Well, it does matter because this is the part of it that we're having a conversation about
Oh,
being
I'm
deluded.
I'm a, I'm a vegetarian. I don't have a meat stick.
Okay. Well, you got a sausage, obviously. Well, probably a Vienna sausage, but
No, I'm a vegetarian.
no, you got a sausage.
I'm
100%.
telling you that I'm a vegetarian. I don't know why you're being delusional and choosing not to
You know,
believe something when I'm presenting you with evidence that I'm a vegetarian.
uh, Look, obviously, if you can't go ahead and come up and just say that you're a male or a female, like you're pretending you're a female, but you're not. You're a male, and
I'm
that's
a
it.
trans female.
There's no such thing as male or female. That's it.
There's no such thing as a trans female. Are you telling me that I don't exist?
Well, in a lot of people's minds, yeah, you don't.
I think I'm real. I think
No,
therefore I am.
no. It,
Are you are
like,
you disagreeing? Are you disagreeing with Rene Descartes now? I'm not real. Just like I can think. That doesn't mean I'm real.
here, let's just say, uh,
Huh?
I have a sign. I have a scion outside. Okay. Now, if I got pulled over, let's just say I got pulled over,
Yeah.
and I give them the registration. It says it's a
Mhm.
Toyota. Well, not a Toyota. Let's just say they say it's a Mustang, but I'm driving
Okay.
this B. Do they have to go ahead and say, well, it says it's a Mustang on here,
No, they don't have to.
but it's a Scion. It's 100%. It's a Scion. It's not a Mustang at all.
Well, that's a different car.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. You are absolutely 100% a male.
100% a male? Males don't have high estrogen levels.
Yeah. You're a male, dude.
But you said 100% a male. Males don't have high estrogen levels. Males don't have boobies. Those aren't things that males have.
Yeah. Are you taking estrogen supplements?
Yeah,
Are you taking
I love estrogen supplements.
Are you taking drugs that alter your biology?
I mean, most people take drugs that alter their biology. What do you think modern medicine is?
Look, you and I like how these people say, "Oh, you're so mad." Why would I be mad? I'm more
Dude, you're
irritated.
getting you're getting really triggered.
No, it's not triggering. It's like for instance, anybody who voted for that guy Fetterman in Pennsylvania, They have to be insane. They have to be a
Soon
really,
may the Fetterman come to bring us radical socialism. I
yeah.
love that guy. So cool.
It's ridiculous. If you have a guy go, oh, we're better than the Eagles, the Eagles. It's like,
Are you
what?
making fun of a stroke patient?
Absolutely, that guy. Yes, he is
Do you
insane.
think it's okay to make fun of somebody who has like a mental disability
Well,
like that?
wait a second. Wait a second. See, this is the thing, though.
Why are you making fun of someone's
Wait a
mental
second.
disability?
Now who's triggered now? Comedians.
I'm not
That's
triggered at all. I'm asking
okay.
you
Well,
why you're making fun of
like,
someone's mental disability.
comedians do this for a living because it's it's something to do. But the thing of it
I'm
is,
gonna be honest. If your take on comedy is just making fun of somebody who has a mental disability, you're a terrible comedian. That's just
oh
not
yeah, I
funny.
know. I heard it all before.
I'd say you can come up with better jokes than just making fun of someone who has a mental disability.
Look, the thing of it is,
Just
it's
get better jokes.
well, the thing of it is with comedy, anything goes. You can't just go ahead and shut it all out. Like for instance, Amy Schumer, she's totally well, honestly, I know she identifies as a female, but I don't even know what it is. But her comedy is there's nothing there. She's absolutely hideous. She has no humor at all. And somehow idiots go ahead and say, well, let me go ahead and buy these tickets. She's horrible.
I
Like
don't think Amy Schumer's
go to
funny.
her show. Huh?
I don't think Amy Schumer is funny, but you don't need to dehumanize her.
Well, to me, I don't even know what the hell she is. To be completely honest, I don't know. Like I guess she's a female, but she doesn't look it, and she's so like far out, and she like tries to sexualize herself. Oh, me too. Like she's saying me too. Who the hell's gonna touch you? Nobody's gonna touch you.
Dude, Amy Schumer is literally a cis woman. Transphobia really rots the brain, doesn't it?
It's not transphobia. It's the thing. Again, the thing of
No,
it
I think that transphobia has rotted your brain such that you're not even seeing cis women as women.
is, and that's the thing. Another made up term: cis women, cis men. It just all of a sudden just was
You know
out
that
there.
all terms are made up, right? We
Yes, but
literally
it just
made up
just
language.
totally made up to support your narrative.
Made up to support my narrative? That's you could say that about all language. All language is made up to support a narrative, aka a definition.
Well, I got a narrative for you. And that's
Is that
really
an argument?
no, that's just my punchline. But the thing of it is,
Not a
it's
very
sort
good
of
argument.
it's a very now it's a pretty good argument.
You think that farting on camera is a good argument?
Well, farting in camera makes me money, so what do
What
I have
is
to?
what does farting on camera like prove? Like how is that a good argument?
Well, it's just what I do. But
Wait,
the thing,
it's just what I do. That's not a very good argument. Somebody
look,
could do something that's very bad, like
are
you
you
just did.
offended by my gas?
I'm
Are
not offended. I'm just saying that it's not
you,
an
you
argument.
look offended
Why do you think I look offended?
because I maybe I just blasted your stream with a fucking raunchy fart.
I can't smell anything. You're not in the room with me.
Yeah, well, like honestly, like if I could, if I was God, like if I was God, right? I you see, I don't think you realize how goofy you look.
I love being goofy. I love being a silly, goofy
Well,
gal.
that's like if you want to, if this was like a costume you do, and this is like some kind of like if you are getting paid to be this person, and then at the end of the day you take it all off, then that's fine.
I'm not a drag queen. This is what I
Well,
look like 24/7.
that's
With trans women, it's not a costume. What you see is what you get. This is just
well.
what I look like.
The only reason I think people do this, they switch sexes, is because they fail at their original sex. That's I really do believe that because they sucked at being a man. So let me go try to be a female. And then a lot of people who go get sex changes and do
Raymond,
all the other things, they go ahead and say, oh well, I messed up, and they go ahead and say don't do it because it's chemical.
so so by this definition, you should transition.
What do I want me to transition to?
I mean, I think you're failing at being a man right now.
Oh no, I'm a man 100%
Why are you a man?
because I have all the male equipment. I'm straight. I have a
Being
girlfriend.
straight makes you a man?
Pretty much, yeah. I think it would.
Why
That's
would why does
that,
being straight make you a man? Are you saying that gay men aren't men?
well, Gay men are they can be men, but the thing of it is, though, again, you can be gay all you want. I don't care. I don't care if anybody wants to be gay. That's fine. Back in
Are
the
you
day,
wait, are gay men men or not?
I assume they are, but see, that's the thing,
So
though.
then
And
why would you say that being straight makes you a man if gay men are also men?
wouldn't that be part of the thing? Like it's part of the criteria. Men, there's men and women, and usually the
What?
state goes.
How is being straight part of the criteria that makes someone a man? Because you acknowledge that gay men are also men. Like that would make straight women men.
See, back in the day, it would be like men are supposed to be, well, the way that people saw them were, hardworking, men out there are bringing in the money, women are, at home taking care of the kids. It's obviously altered now. It's not the
Oh,
same.
so you're describing gender as a set of social roles and expectations, not a set of biological characteristics. Interesting. I would
That's
agree that gender is a set of social
oh,
characteristics,
you do, you
roles and
twist,
expectations we assign to people,
you twist.
not a set of
Oh,
biological characteristics, like you
that's
just
how
pointed out. Good job,
that,
Will.
that's how you get your fame all the time. You twist things around. You twist
I
words
am
all
literally
the time.
just going
No,
off of exactly
it's
what you
called
said.
you
You said
say
that
it's
people
100%
see men historically as a
food.
set of social roles and expectations. That's literally what you said.
Hey, look, I'm looking at a bottle of Tabasco sauce. Hey, it's Tabasco sauce. You'll go ahead and say, no, it's not. It's mustard. And
Nope.
then you'll argue with me and tell me it's mustard when it's actually Tabasco sauce. That's what you're
Nope,
doing.
I agree that that's Tabasco sauce.
It, then the fact that you can look down between your legs and see something that has that's a male anatomy should give you, hey, maybe I'm not a female. Maybe I'm actually a man.
I don't think that I don't think that like having certain body parts makes someone a man or a woman. I think that it's gross to reduce men and women down to body parts.
Okay. Well, the Tabasco sauce is Tabasco sauce for a reason. It has ingredients to make it Tabasco sauce. Male and female are made of ingredients to make who they are.
Are you talking about male and female or man and woman?
Male and female.
So I would agree that male and female would be physiological characteristics, but it's much more than just what's between your legs. There's a lot that goes into one's biological sex, and a lot of it you can change, and I have changed through medical transition.
Look, and that's the thing. It's like, see, it's kind of like useless to argue, and especially being in a room full of people who are living in your delusion. You can't talk
Well,
any.
why don't you try to convince us?
Well, there's no way to convince. I actually had a girlfriend who's liberal as fuck, totally delusional. She went to the nut house 3 times when she lived with me. Very violent, very crazy, totally liberal. And then I had another one, totally liberal, off the wall, batshit crazy, and then went
These
to
are
Shep.
just anecdotes. Anecdotes don't say anything about a broader trend.
But every liberal girl I ever dated pretty much ended up in a psych ward, and I'm not even joking. They're like, I'm telling you,
Okay, that's just your own personal anecdote. What if every conservative I dated ended up in a psych ward?
did
Wouldn't
they?
that have the exact same level of validity?
Oh, let me ask you, did they? Have you ever dated one?
Um, let's see. I actually don't know about whether or not the person I dated ended up in a psych ward.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing though. It's honestly
But
like,
my point is that it doesn't really matter either way because it's just an anecdote. Anecdotes don't say anything about a broader trend.
yeah. Well, I can tell. Well, I'm gonna try to figure out how to do this. Okay, there I am. So,
Will is the common denominator there. True.
am I? Can you see? Oh, here, save. Okay, there you go.
Oh,
So
there
yeah.
you are. Hey,
There.
Will.
So like,
Thanks for
I'm just
showing your face.
well. I have nothing to hide. What am I supposed to hide? Like again, it's crazy. Like, for instance, if I have a viewpoint about anything,
Hmm.
the liberals will go ahead and silence the person or get offended or try to cancel that person. But the thing
Well,
of it
why
is,
don't you present me with facts and evidence?
but
Like I'm willing to listen to facts and evidence.
okay, well, the facts and evidence. If you're if you're biological, if you biologically have a penis, you are a male.
That is not true
Then what is it? That's like it's the same.
because there are
The
so for
Tabasco sauce
example,
house.
somebody who has somebody who has lost their phallus, they could still be a male, such as a eunuch, or somebody who lost it in a war. There are also certain intersex conditions where you can be born with a vagina but develop in the male direction, and such as guevedoses, where actually at puberty, their genitals change. They
I,
would be male, although they wouldn't have always had that penis.
that's sort of like parrotfish in the ocean, who the alpha male is the male, and then the dominant female, after the male dies, turns into the alpha male. I don't know if you knew that.
Based.
Yeah, but that's actually something in, that actually is a thing. But the thing of it is, I'm saying, if your
Yeah,
body,
I'm also actually a thing.
oh, if okay, let's just say that, what is a theodosia? I don't know what the word was, but if that's actually a thing,
Guevedoses occur in nature. It's just an
okay,
intersex condition that occurs naturally.
I get that. But let's just say if that is a thing that happened, it's very rare for it to happen. But let's just say it did, and
It
then I would,
actually depends on where you're at. In I believe it's the Dominican Republic, it actually is like 1 in 80 births are
well,
guevedoses. It's actually pretty common over there.
well, yeah, it's because it's genetically, because it's an island, and whoever, their offspring or whatever you want to call it, they're going to
Yeah,
have,
it is genetic.
yeah, it's genetic. So that's an isolated case. It doesn't happen worldwide, like all over the
It
place. It's not
does happen worldwide, actually.
but it's not rampant. It's not like, it's not like COVID. It's not going to happen all over the place, unless
So,
everybody
so,
agrees.
so what if it's rare? It still happens. It still happens in nature,
Yeah,
and it disproves any kind of absolute statement you're trying to make.
and I was born without an asshole, so that's rare.
Good for
Does
you.
born without an asshole?
No. However, it does show that not everybody has a butthole.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's. I guarantee if you go ahead and look at the odds, I don't know what my condition was, but if you're born without an asshole compared to that, I would say that mine is probably maybe a little rarer than that. It's something that's bizarre, but whatever. And well, the
Sure.
thing,
And this is a perfect example why people like you show why it would be inaccurate for somebody to say every single human has a butthole or every single male has a penis.
usually that's a description of a male. If you want to
Oh,
say,
I would certainly agree that usually or typically males have a penis, but that's not always the case. Therefore, you can't use it as exclusionary criteria.
it's it's a description, a penis is something that you would describe on a male
Yeah, typically.
typically.
But we're not talking about the typical case. We're talking about exceptional cases right now. Trans people are exceptional cases, just like how intersex people are
Oh,
exceptional cases.
okay, that's like a cyborg. If you got robotic arms and legs and a robotic penis, then yes, I would call you a cyborg. Now, if you want to go ahead and go a little further, and the people who are going ahead and getting these chemical castrations and all these other things, and they want to be put in their own little class, and they all be trans.
What do you mean by chemical castration?
That's what they do for a lot of the kids out there when they go ahead and give them these.
What is castration?
That's when you go ahead and like pretty much get rid of your male parts there. In a way, it's chemical induced, so it doesn't, it doesn't work just like it
But
would naturally.
there are treatments that these people can take to become fertile again. It's not like it's any kind of permanent castration. We
It's
have researched
not right.
treatments that trans people can take temporarily to make themselves fertile again.
Kids should never ever be a part of that ever. It shouldn't be. The kids should not be touched with any of this nonsense. It should be something that they decide to do when they get older, and it's
So are you
ridiculous.
arguing against established medical guidelines that are backed by research and data?
Yeah, and then who
So
are
wait,
these people? And who
on
are
what
these?
authority are you or on what authority or on what evidence are you able to say that you know better than the established medical
Yeah,
guidelines researched by doctors and scientists such as the American Medical
and
Association, the
all
American
and
Academy of
every
Pediatrics, the American Endocrine
one.
Society? On what authority or evidence do you
Okay,
know better than these people?
because if you clone yourself, let's just say you clone yourself and you went ahead and went to school and all this other
That's
stuff,
not what I'm
and
asking you.
you
Wait,
became
stop
you,
distracting.
no, no,
On
no,
what authority
I'm
do
getting
you
the
know
point.
better than the
I'm
American
making a
Medical
point.
Association? Or do you
I,
have evidence which disproves the American Medical
yeah,
Association?
if everybody was you that you just talked about, yes, I can understand that because they're all insane. They're all delusional. That's my point. They're all
You're
delusional,
still
making
not
things
answering
up,
my question.
and they're in power. So
Are
therefore,
you,
if
do you want to
everybody's
engage in the conversation or do you just want to rant about
no,
cyborgs?
no, 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 no. See, if everybody's in power who's delusional, like the Democratic Party, mainly the liberals, then we're going to live, unfortunately,
Dude,
by their.
you are ranting about meaningless stuff right now.
Okay.
I'm asking you, under what authority or with what evidence do you believe that you know better than the American Medical Association and their established guidelines, which recommend,
Oh, okay.
treatments for trans
Okay.
kids and trans
I'm glad
teenagers?
you said that. I'm glad you said that. Okay. So the CDC was saying originally, and there's proof of this because the whole COVID thing was bullshit. So the CDC
Wait,
was
what?
the whole, yeah, I had COVID. I had plenty of people who had COVID. We're not dead. The thing of it is, it's ridiculous that they went ahead originally and said, you got to get the vax. Okay. I literally, I knew people who lost their jobs because of it, which is ridiculous. I had to cut my ties with a lot of places because, oh, well, you're not vaxxed. I'm not vaxxed.
So
Guess
what does this
what?
have to do with the American Medical Association?
Because what they say, okay, when the CDC is part, I'm sure they have ties. I'm guarantee you they do. So the CDC, when they said originally, they said if you get the vaccination, you're immune to this virus. And then
The
later
CDC did not say that.
they
Nobody,
absolutely did. The woman,
nobody,
I don't know if
nobody in good faith has claimed that a vaccine will make you completely immune to any virus. That's just not how vaccines work.
do I gotta pull
That's
it?
not what they have said
Do
at
I gotta
all.
pull it up on YouTube to totally blow this out of the water?
This is not what the CDC has claimed. Everybody
Absolutely.
knows,
Joe
everybody knows that
Biden said it
vaccines
too.
are not perfect. They give you a booster. They give you protection. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
perfect immunity. Nobody has ever claimed that in
Now
good faith.
every person who ever lost their job, every person who actually had to go through this bullshit, and then suddenly they get the virus, I think every single person should sue the hell out of the government, and they should sue the hell out of the place that fired them to get all their back wages, because it's absolutely ridiculous that anybody lost their job over nonsense that they were told. Now the whole COVID thing.
What are you
Yeah,
talking about? This is not related to what the CDC said at all. Also, here's from the CDC's website right here.
yeah.
Therefore, it is possible that a person could be infected with the virus that causes COVID-19 just before or just after vaccination and then get sick.
Here we go. Now you're pulling up stuff from, guess what? The CDC, who are, of course, are not going to go ahead and say anything bad about themselves. Let me go and like randomly on YouTube here. And then they put
Getting the COVID-19 vaccine
CDC.
offers some natural protection or immunity from reinfection with the virus that causes COVID-19. They're not saying it's going to be impossible for you to get sick. They're saying you get some natural protection or immunity, which is true.
Let me see what comes up. I know. I remember it was a woman who said that. It was definitely. Oh, here we go. Let me see what this person says.
You press harder. We can do this. But if you haven't gotten vaccinated yet, now is the time. And
yeah.
With that, over to Dr.
True.
Willard for an important update.
It's Dr. Willard.
Our progress.
Yeah, that's the woman I was trying to come up with. She's the one who said. She said that pretty much. Well, not that pretty much. She said that if you get the vaccine, you won't get COVID. Absolutely.
What was her name?
I'm pretty sure this person said it was Dr. Willard. It's the girl with the black hair. I don't know what the hell it is.
For Americans.
Dr. Willard, vaccine immunity?
Back with you today. Let's begin with an overview of the data. Yesterday, CDC reported more than 34,200 new cases of COVID-19. Our 7-day average is about 36,800 cases per day. This represents yet another decrease of about 23% from.
Well, maybe no, it's the director Walensky.
And every day with
Walensky, that's her name. And I'm telling you, it's
Dr. Walensky?
No, Director Walensky, CDC Director Walensky, WAL.
CDC Director Walensky, vaccine immunity? What did she say?
Well, she said in a clip that it might not be this clip, but it was another clip where she was saying.
Let's see. CDC Director said high levels of immunity from vaccination. That's true. She hasn't lied about that. This is from CNBC, which is claiming that her claim was that the COVID-19 vaccine would give you high levels of immunity. She never said perfect. She just said high levels of immunity, and that's absolutely true. That's what the data simply shows.
Yeah, and then again, that might be fine and everything, but guess
what?
So
why are you lying about what she said?
I'm not lying about what she said. Everybody that I know, whoever got the shot, got COVID. Every single person. And then we were led to believe you get the shot.
And they had a high level of immunity to it. Not a perfect level of immunity, but a high level, just like she claimed. There is no lie there.
Biden and her both said that. They said that at some point.
Where did she say that? Give me the quote.
Again, I remember hearing it. I know for a fact he did because there's a big uproar.
So your source is just you remember something? That's not a very good source.
Again, see here Biden. Here, let me see.
Biden did misspeak once about the vaccine. That is true. But Biden is not like an authority on like the effectiveness of a vaccine. He's just the president.
Director here, Rochelle Walensky says getting the shot. Oh, God.
There's another quote from Walensky where she directly says that getting 2 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine is likely not enough because she acknowledges that it doesn't provide perfect immunity. She's been consistently talking about how it provides a high level of immunity, but not a perfect level of immunity because that's just how vaccines work. That's how vaccines have always worked.
The thing of it is, I'm not sure how YouTube works because they might actually censor that. I know for a fact it was on TikTok because I've seen it many times.
So somebody could just be lying on TikTok and that's your source?
It was from her mouth. It was from her mouth. And it was hysterical because when she said that, she got...
Show me the source.
I'm trying to find the source. I know I have. I absolutely know it. I have it saved in my TikTok, but I'm on TikTok. So how am I supposed to send it? Well,
you can pull up on your computer or whatever.
I'm on my iPad. I don't have TikTok on my iPad.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure anybody here.
Everything I'm seeing has Walensky saying that COVID-19 vaccine gives you a high level of immunity, but she has never claimed that it's a perfect level of immunity. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh. Wowee. Thank you, Jasmine. So you need to provide the source, or else you're just lying about what she said.
I'm not lying about what she said. It's 100%. It's absolutely something she said. Now here, let me get this straight. So if I go, let's just say I get the effort, and I go ahead and get on my computer that's right over there. I pull it up. Do I get an apology? Yes or no?
If she actually like made a false claim?
If she says, because I know I can find it if I actually put enough effort into it. But I want an apology from you and you have to apologize to me and all your viewers that you're over here spewing nonsense.
If you can find a source where she lied about the COVID-19 vaccine, I will certainly concede that she was wrong about the COVID vaccine.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. Actually, you know what?
Okay. Please find the quote.
Well, I got to put on my... Where the hell is it? Oh, here it is. I think as long as this computer is up and running, I shouldn't have a problem. Oh, God. Well,
I have a Reuters.com fact check that says merged clips of CDC Director Rochelle Walensky discussing vaccine protection from severe COVID-19 are missing context. I think that what you've seen is misleading clips that have been pasted together because there's a Reuters fact check article about that exact same thing, about that exactly happening.
No,
I think that you've seen something that was out of context and misleading.
That was absolutely not. 100% not. Yeah, I like how I have to crawl under my table just to get to my computer. Of renovating, so now my computer is up in the corner and I have to crawl under my desk to get to it. Let me see here. I'm gonna pull it up right now. It should be real fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope you have a good apology waiting for us.
Yeah, I have the Reuters fact check article against the video you're trying to pull up right now.
Here you go again. It's you don't think that they okay?
So I literally have the Reuters fact check article about the video you're going to bring up.
Oh yeah,
it lacks context and it's not true.
On Earth, there is a mysterious and frightening place.
Here, CDC says getting shot
The average width of the trench is about 69
Plants.
kilometers. The terrain has a huge V-shaped structure. The lowest point of
I'm
the
sure
trench
I
is
can
called-
come up with it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they took it down. Here we go. Let me see here. Oh, God. See, I don't know where. Hold on a second. What was her name again?
Her name is Rochelle Walensky.
Okay.
So you're going to bring up a clip, which I already have the Reuters fact check article pulled up right here. Like you can bring up the clip. I know exactly what it is because I have the fact check article about it right here.
Okay, so you're saying that they clipped it together.
Yes.
No.
So the clip that you're referring to is two out of context clips first together, where in the first clip, she is talking on MSNBC, and she says that generally vaccinated people don't carry the virus and don't get sick. Now, this data comes from prior to the Delta variant, where with the variants prior to the Delta variant, this was supported by the data on that we had on the vaccine. So she's just talking about things that are prior to the Delta variant. The second clip that gets merged on top of it is where she talks about current strong protection against severe infection, hospitalization, and death could decrease in the months ahead, where she's talking about after the Delta variant and other variants were discovered. Essentially, they're clipping together something before we had the Delta variant and future variants with something after we had the Delta variant and future variants, and they're trying to deceptively make it sound like she's saying these right in front of each other. Now, it's not true because the data that was available was different at those times. The data actually did show that, yeah, generally vaccinated people don't get sick and don't carry the non-Delta and future variants. But then the data showed that once the Delta and future variants came up, there were more cases of people that were not as protected. There's no contradiction there. It's just the data evolved as the variants evolved.
So pretty much also, here, I'm just reading the headliner here. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky admits major COVID mistakes, plans to restructure the agency, calling it reset. Now, Dr. Fauci also said the same thing. He said,
Don't mask.
What?
Nothing.
Fauci said the same thing she said, and then retracted. And he said before that, he asked him about the flu. Oh, well, don't get the flu shot. If you don't get the flu shot, it's better to get the flu because then you have natural immunity. That's what he said. And then he goes ahead and changes course. And then he changes course again because he's going to get freaking,
Have you ever considered that as variants have evolved and as more data has come out, the recommendations that they would give would change in response to learning new facts and seeing the new data, in particular in response to the new variants? Because that's exactly what happened with Walensky, and that also has been happening with Fauci.
And I'm proud. I didn't even get the vaccination. The reason I'm proud about that, been sick one time in 2 or 3 years. I can't remember, but I've been sick one time since. Ever since then, I'm great. Everybody that I know who had the COVID shot has been sick multiple times, and had COVID more than once.
So wait. Why don't you want to get the vaccine?
Because it's total bullshit.
You don't think it does anything?
It does absolutely nothing. If I was
so how do you refute all of the empirical medical data which shows that it reduces your likelihood of catching COVID, it reduces your likelihood of transmitting COVID, and it reduces, the likelihood of you experiencing serious symptoms from COVID? How do you refute all of that overwhelming medical data?
I had COVID, and guess what? It was bad. But the thing of it is, though,
wait. So you're saying that your personal anecdote disproves all of this medical data?
Actually, it's not just mine. It's many other people who had COVID.
So you're saying that a handful of anecdotes from your personal experience disproves peer-reviewed empirical medical data? You can't be serious right now. Personal anecdotes do not say anything about a broader trend. That's what empirical medical data is precisely for. You are valuing, oh, my friend said this, or I experienced this, over researched empirical peer-reviewed data. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, okay. And let's go back in the day when they used to do wild and crazy stuff to cure something and actually, cut a limb off or do something they shouldn't have done. Would you argue with them back in the day when they did some crazy ass shit back in the day to cure things? Then now
they have empirical data which shows that was effective?
Well, I'm sure they did because they were doing it. they had some weird ways of fixing things. That
Actually, a lot of the stuff they didn't have empirical data, and that's precisely the problem.
then why did so many people do the things that they said to do would cure X, Y, and Z?
Because people like you said that in my personal experience, this worked. Because they didn't have empirical data and they just relied on personal experience, which was wrong. Exactly what you're doing.
Again, I'm giving facts from what I experienced and what other people experienced.
Personal experience does not say anything about a broader trend.
And I'm
That's
still
what
alive.
Okay.
And anybody
Will,
who got it,
if you base things just on your personal experience, then the Earth would be flat. Do you believe that the Earth is flat?
No, I don't believe the Earth is flat.
Why is the Earth not flat?
Because it's not. Because
how do you know that the Earth is not flat?
From what I see, I've been in a plane. I can tell that it's a curvature. The sun comes
looks flat from a plane. You are lying right now. The Earth still looks flat from a plane.
Absolutely does not look flat. It does not look flat. There's absolutely a curvature, 100%.
Are you talking about like mountains and stuff? Obviously mountains exist, but mountains could still exist on a flat plane. In your personal experience, you experience the world as a flat plane, sure, with mountains and stuff. But how do you know that the Earth is not flat?
I don't, because for one, okay, the sun and the moon, they orbit, they come up the same way all the time.
Well, they could come up and down a flat Earth too. How do you know that the Earth is not flat?
How many times are they gonna explain these reasons to you? That's what I'm saying. Like people that are delusional, like you, will come up with, what about this? What about that? What about this? And then again, you just go ahead and divert attention from.
Well, the problem is that all of these personal experience reasons you're giving actually do not prove that the Earth is round. So I'm asking you, how do you know that the Earth is round? Sure.
How do I know a man's a man? Do you have a dick?
I'm asking. That's not the question we're talking about right now. That's not the question we're talking about right now. Stop. How do you know? That's not what we're talking about. You deflecting is not winning an argument.
You got a dick.
Please answer me. How do you know that the Earth is round?
You got a dick. So
I don't know why you're just trying to talk about people's genitals right now. Woo! I'm trying to ask you, how do you know that the Earth is round?
I win. Logical evidence. Whee!
Screaming is not an argument. Wait, he couldn't answer why the Earth is round, and he thinks that means he won the debate? He couldn't explain why the Earth is round, therefore he won the debate? What? That is so funny. What a literal child. Oh my goodness.